Hi, this is Robbie with the Magnolia Jazz Band. If you're anything like me, then you enjoy wondering about things, often about things that might at best have only a tentative conclusion. Actually, I'm pretty comfortable accepting the idea that I might never know the answer to some of these questions I wonder about, but I sure enjoy speculating. One of the things I really enjoy thinking about is history, wondering, for example, if the way I understand the historical story now resembles in any way the way people back in those days thought about things. Wondering, another thing I wonder about is whether people 100 years from today will think about the same way that I do right now, thinking about things that are happening right now. I also wonder about what we can learn from history. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the expression, people who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, what actually can we learn from history? So here's one thing that I think we can learn. Here's one thing that I'm beginning to learn right now, and that is that more often than we realize these days, people learn from our observations. Things that we see around us influence what we learn a lot more than somebody's lesson plan, for example. I've recently been thinking about jazz bands in San Francisco. And there's a long tradition of jazz bands in San Francisco going back 100 years. It's a very colorful tradition. And there's many, many stories of musicians working together, listening to each other, and learning from each other. We all learn from our observations. In other words, we're all teachers by virtue of the examples that we set for others. And at the same time, we're all learners, picking up lessons from the things that we observe around us. And so what's the bottom line? The bottom line is be thoughtful about the things you do and the examples that you set, and choose your friends carefully. In today's blog, for example, I'm telling a few stories that I think are interesting about jazz bands in San Francisco and about how the musicians work together and learn from each other, setting good examples and learning from those examples.